What's an oddly specific feeling that you hate? Walking with groceries in a plastic bag and it hits your leg and spins, so the bag gets wound up, and as you wait for it to spin in the other direction and unwind itself, it hits your leg again and winds further in the same direction. Just reading this made me angry. That feeling when you are walking with your friends, and suddenly the sidewalk isn't wide enough and you end up walking behind everyone, and suddenly you find out in your trio of friends who are the two closest ones. Spoiler alert, it's never you. Never. When you get an itch on the very bottom of your foot and you are wearing shoes, especially boots, and when you are driving, and you start to think it is a big bug inside your shoes. Almost sneezing, then not. One day all those buffered sneezes will come out at once and that's how you'll die. Feeling tired of chewing pork chops every time. How long are you cooking your pork chops? Mine are always juicy and tender. When my post-shower, super dry winter hands touch microfiber, just kill me. O'Keeffe's Working Hands lotion is what you need. When I step on a floor barefoot and my foot is slightly sweaty and picks up every piece of dirt. In the same vein, walking on dry sand after you've been in the water at the beach. That coating of sand that squeaks when you walk is viscerally unpleasant to me. I love that for some reason. I guess because the beach in general brings me joy, but weird kind of melancholy that hangs out in the background of my head. Like when you have a program running in the background that seems kinda sus but you can't task manager it. Time to install Arch Linux. That feeling you get when an annoying coworker you don't want to talk to comes up to you and starts talking to you while you are at your desk, and you try to give subtle and then not so subtle hints for them to go away, and they don't. When you sad man, that's crazy, for the third time whilst typing and looking at your screen, and they still haven't wrapped up their story. Or when they just stand there, waiting for you to supply the conversation, even though it's the 6th time they rapped on your door to talk to you, and you're doing everything possible to display that you're busy. An amp, #X200B, I get it Devia, you're bored. Often do your work, like I'm attempting to do. When somebody's messing around with styrofoam and it's making that sound, can you please not speak about that, thanks? That weird half sadness, half restlessness I get sometimes randomly at night. Deja vu used to be kind of fun when I was a kid, but now it feels different. It used to feel like I've been somewhere before. Now it feels like I've been trapped in a moment for eternity. I feel like I've been caught in a time loop. I don't like that feeling at all. For the last few years I've gotten an impending sense of doom whenever I experience deja vu. It feels like I am going to watch something horrible happen. But since I've already experienced that thing, I'm powerless to stop it. Had a physical lately. When you wake up from an emotional dream and you still feel like absolute because of what happened in the dream, but yet you could never even remotely remember what happened in this dream. Those dreams where you had this intense sexual relationship with someone you know in real life and then you instantly like them for a few days. It's so weird because you never talked to them that much before it, but suddenly there's soulmate level attraction. Also had one where a family member died and it was so real and gut-wrenching I had to call them when I woke up just to make sure they were still alive, even though I knew it was a dream. Trying to get an earring through the back hole of my ear and just digging around in the meaty ear void. Something I didn't realize I hated until your comment. When your feet are simultaneously cold and sweaty at night. How was this allowed to be a thing? Stupid foam mattress. My back is 150 degrees and my front is 50 degrees. Just busted my fingernail half off, so that sorta numb sorta pain feeling when I bump it. The feeling of when you feel excluded from a certain group of people, whether it be friends, family, or any other social group that you feel you are a part of. It's this sinking, gut-dropping emotion that you don't belong. I started feeling that at work, like I don't really have a place. It's a really odd feeling. I'm finally leaving that place, but I'm kinda shocked at how much being left out of groups with your mental health after a while. Edit. I should note, it wasn't a problem at all when I got along with my corporate boss, but she started isolating me too, and I spiraled fast. Feeling like you don't belong and don't have a group is super. Toby, when someone fakes and to convey that someone's cooking is good. I hate food moaners with a passion. I had a roommate moan regardless of what he's eating. You are eating oatmeal, Travis, stop moaning. Jealousy. I didn't want to be with my chick at all after the breakup. I mean, I'm not all innocent or anything, but she hit me and emotionally abused me, and nobody did anything about it. If it was the other way around, it'd be in cuffs the first 5 minutes. I saw her with another guy and IDKY, but I felt jealousy. I don't know why I did, but I couldn't get rid of it and I felt uneasy and stuff. I eventually got over it, but did I hate that feeling? I didn't want to be that guy. When you run up 2 flights of stairs and you don't feel out of breath until like a full 60 seconds after you get to the top. Like, I'm so out of shape, my body doesn't even respond to what I've done until it's well passed over. It's like the Internet Explorer of bodies. The feeling of having to, but nothing comes out. Don't ask me how I know this, but apparently tugging the skin behind your balls helps. Just lightly pulling it. What if you're a girl? When someone comes at me with their fingers curled like they're going to tickle me, one of the few things that will make me become physically violent. Same here. I literally hate being tickled. Yet many people think, oh yeah, I don't like it either. No, I hate it and get violent if I'm tickled. I must have been tortured to death in a previous life. Death by tickles. That feeling you get when you're on your way to do something, and someone asks you to do that very thing you were on your way to do, makes me not want to do it anymore. Also, them not realizing what they just have done. I swear to God I wanted to clean up the whole universe a minute ago, but I don't want to do anything for the rest of my life now. Water rolling down my arm after I've washed my hands and I'm reaching for a towel. And GT, sad face. Ugh, especially when you're wearing long sleeves. I hate it so much. When you're about to fall asleep and your body does that fake fall thing. My wife told me a story about me doing that once while spooning her in bed. Apparently I did the fake fall and muttered something like, just about fell off the roof, and she immediately busted a gut laughing, which then woke me up. She spent the next half hour trying to fall asleep, giggling to herself every 20 seconds. The feeling of having hair on me after a haircut stuck on the back of the neck is the worst, or getting under your shirt and scratching your shoulders. It annoys me how characters in movies and TV go about their day immediately after getting a haircut. I always head straight home to shower afterwards for this exact reason. That tingling sensation I get when something touches the area near or on my Adam's apple, even if lightly, and my hands aren't somewhere within the general vicinity of my neck. I can't explain it, it's just super uncomfortable and it makes me want to punch something. I'm the exact same way whenever I got put in a chokehold when I did karate. I had a mini panic attack, and the few times a friend would do it as a joke I went berserk. How you sweat a lot during naps? Or is that just me? Only after I run out of heroin. I hate the sound of frozen cardboard tearing. Makes me gag and almost throw up. Whenever I get things out the freezer I have to cut open the box with scissors or a knife. If it tears open then it sets me off. Got goosebumps and went all jittery just typing that. Yes, all my family think it's weird. I never realized cold cardboard sounds different than room temperature cardboard. The instant you realized you forgot something, but it's too late to go back and get it. Earbud getting yanked out of my ear after the cord gets caught on a door handle. I literally just broke my earbuds this morning like that. The feeling of the paper sliding across the inside of your flesh during a paper cut. You made me cringe. That feeling of saliva buildup leading up to vomiting. When my skin feels itchy, but it's not on the outside, more like it's inside. It rarely happens, but it feels like I have to scratch at my skin to get to it on the inside. That's your skeleton trying to escape. That pain in your heart when you feel sadness. It's so weird how, in addition to the emotional feeling of sadness, you can also get actual physical discomfort in your chest. The feeling of despair tends to give me intense nausea, too. Whenever my depression gets particularly bad, I feel like an elephant is sitting on my chest trying to crush it. I end up gasping for air. Thanks, Cosmos, for wanting that to be a part of being a human. when you know someone is lying to you. That feeling when I want to and I am a bit more successful than that. Gravy. More like bitumen spray. Having my neck wet when everything else is dry. An amp. #X200B. Also when a drip of sweat rolls down your body. That water that hits you directly when the plop's in. Poseidon's kiss. The feeling that I am losing an argument. Just try and tighten it up and you might win. That feeling on a Sunday night when you realize it's the longest possible time in the week till the next weekend. Having wet feet and still having to get about your day. Embarrassment. You know that moment where you're sitting back in a chair, and decide you're going to balance the back legs cause it's fun and cool, and then you lose the balance and start to fall backwards and you feel that brief moment of intense fear. That feeling I hate. I hate it more cause that is exactly what anxiety is like. All the time. Thanks for this insight. I never knew how people with anxiety felt like all the time. I don't know why, but sometimes when I see a relationship flourish in a TV show I used to watch, I get this sickening feeling. Don't want to call it jealousy because I feel it so rarely. When your pencil is too low and the wood scratches up against the paper, when you're about to slip or fall, but you catch yourself in time. Only your body has already braced itself for impact and you're left with all this unused adrenaline. That always makes me weirdly furious for like 10 seconds. The feeling of touching styrofoam, monsieur. I can't stand the texture half the time, and it's even worse when I'm already anxious. I'm really texture sensitive when I'm anxious. Sensory issues and whatnot. Styrofoam is at the top of the list of things I hate. Sometimes if I'm gripping a flat object between my thumb and forefinger and I'm not actually looking at it, I just sort of use the ability to tell you how thick the object is. Happens most frequently if I grab the edge of my computer desk. I know it's only an inch thick but somehow it simultaneously feels an inch thick and 5 inches, and paper thin. I really hate that sensation. I hate feeling like I did something wrong, or offended somebody, even though I know that I didn't. It's sort of like the lingering shame when you wake up from a dream where you were a jerk for no reason. I guess that's called anxiety. Scratching rough surfaces, particularly some types of metal and chalkboards. I cannot even go near the stuff. It's such a bad feeling. I hope I'm not the only one because it's the worst feeling ever. When you stretch and yawn at the same time and you get dizzy and lights-headed. When you stub your toe and the toenail bends inward and you have to reach down and check if it ripped.